What's up, BassBlaster subscribers? Chris Zaldain here with the Megabass Vision 110 jerkbait, the king of jerkbaits. I don't know a single guy on the Elite Series Tour that doesn't have a boat full of these, a tackle box full of these jerkbaits. Matter of fact, every time we go up north or every time we go out there, Bull Shoals, Table Rock Lake, some of those clear water, pre-spawn fisheries, I always have a guy or two come up to me and say, hey, do you have so-and-so color of the Vision 110 I could borrow? And I say, what can I say? I'm all out. But really cool jerkbait. It is the king of jerkbaits because two things, in my opinion. Balance and detail. And if you look at the Megabass Vision 110, it is absolutely beautiful. Out of the package, it's got the realistic eyes, the realistic gill plates, and just an awesome paint finish. They use a bunch of different hues of colors. There are hundreds of different Megabass Vision 110 jerkbait colors. A couple of my favorites, hands down, we'll go over the first two that I've been playing with a lot lately. Megabass Gizzard, Green Gizzard. Just a beautiful sheen, just a nice little pink pink line straight down the center. It's got a couple of little darker smoky scales on the back, and then just a nice green sheen to the back of it. And this color works in ultra clear water and also some of the stained water. It's got a nice little flash to it. That's one I've been playing with lately. And then also this one right here, I've always got this tied on. This is called Matte Shad. It works when it's sunny out, when it's partly cloudy, when it's fully cloudy. It's got that nice matte finish to it. They absolutely nailed that matte finish. It's almost like a chartreuse frost looking color. It's got a purple back on it and kind of just a pearl belly. I mean, it doesn't get any more natural than that. Whether the sun's out or the clouds are out, it doesn't matter. It just glows underwater. A couple of other colors I've seen around on tour and are real popular on tour. In those more stained situations, we see a lot of the Table Rock SPs, basically a chartreuse, a little bit of green and some orange on the belly and a nice purple back, or French Pearl. Excellent bait, which is just a solid white. That works anywhere the water's stained. And some of the other, northern colors, smallmouth, a lot of translucent colors. Some of the more popular ones are going to be your Pro Blue or Pro Blue 2, which has the orange belly on it. So Pro Blue or Pro Green. Those two right there are some of my favorites. Every time I go up north for smallmouth, my smallmouth Canadian buddies are always asking me for that bait right there. Just really good smallmouth bait. Also, you can't beat it. I think the best seller by far, whether you're smallmouth fishing or largemouth fishing in the springtime, Elegy Bone. I mean, that one right there has changed the game in jerkbait fishing without a doubt. You see a lot of companies trying to imitate that color right there. Really bright chartreuse belly, so when it's flashing, jerking down there left to right, really grabs their attention. Transparent sides, it's kind of got the bone finish in there, and then of course a nice pearlescent purple back. So really cool color, Elegy Bone. That is probably the most popular. And then also another good one too is HT Ito Tennessee Shad. That's a good all-around color. If you take a look at it here, it's got a nice foil back to it and transparent belly, so you kind of get the best of both worlds there. Works all the way around. Some moss shad, moss back. I mean, that's a real nice gold finish for you guys in Oklahoma or some of those other stained waters down there in Florida. Those real gold sides work really well. Setup is real important when you're fishing jerkbait, especially the Vision 110, as it likes to suspend. A lot of the bites come on the Vision 110, especially during the pre-spawn phases when the water is rising from the 50s, from the lower 50s, getting to that 55, 56 degree range when the fish really get on the move. From their winter areas transitioning to those nice flats. It's very important to have the right setup. And it starts with line. In my opinion, fluorocarbon line is the absolute way to go. Thinner the better. A couple reasons. When you're in those real clear water situations, you never want the fish to see your line. So 12-pound Seaguar and VizX is by far the best line to pair with the Vision 110. Two things about that: there's a very low stretch and low memory. and two, it's very thin. So this 12-pound Seaguar and Viz X is a lot of different line manufacturers 8-pound test or 10-pound test. So you have a full 12-pound test and that nice thin 8 to 10-pound diameter. So you can make a really long cast and get that bait down there 6 to 8 feet. You know, where it works really well. Hooks are a big deal. You know, a lot of times you'll have fish that are kind of lethargic coming out of wintertime in the pre-spawn. A lot of times they'll you know, come up and swipe the bait. So I want all those bites in the boat, and so I changed my hooks to these are Trokar TK 310. It's an EWG style hook, super sharp hooks. I mean, extra sharp. Got to be careful when you're handling these things, and you know, when you're jerking a jerkbait all day long, you know, got to be careful because those hooks are so sharp that'll start eating through your bait there. So got to keep an eye on that. But extra sharp hooks, and these are size 5s. I love a size 5. It doesn't hinder the weight of the bait, or it doesn't float the bait. It's just a nice suspending size. Trokar TK 310s. It's the EWG style in a size 5. And then the rod, very important. You know, I think a lot of the old school guys throw jerk baits or any treble style baits on fiberglass rods, but it's hard to find a fiberglass rod that's light enough to jerk all day long. I love a graphite rod. This is a Megabass USA Destroyer, and this is the 110 special rod. They built this rod for the Vision 110. So at 6'11" overall length, I think that's the perfect length. Not too long, not too short. You know, some guys use a 6'6" or 6'5" that's real short, almost old school pistol grip like. This isn't like that. Or some guys use a 7-foot rod to jerk with. I like a nice in between. 6'10" or 6'11" is perfect. Very important to have that short butt length. If you look here at my hand, you know, when I'm jerking that jerk bait, I don't want the butt section getting caught up in my jersey or in my jacket. A lot of times it's cold out, or in my armpit area, so I'm able to jerk and keep it tucked underneath my elbow with no problems there. So very cool rod, Megabass Destroyer, 6'11", 110 special, and this is kind of an old school reel. I like the real high profile reels. That way I could palm that reel and just kind of have a good grip on it as I'm jerking and twitching all day long. This is just a Shimano Core 6:2-1 gear ratio reel. Very important. 5-to-1 reels are just too slow with that cadence. Then 5-to-1 reels just can't pick up that line. 7-to-1, 8-to-1, just way too fast. Really messes up your cadence as your jerk, pause, jerk, pause. And by the way, that's probably one of my best, one of my favorite retrieves is 2-1-2 type cadence. Cast the bait out there, jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, pause. So 2-1-2, jerk, pause, jerk, pause, jerk, pause. A lot of times the bites will come on the pause, and that's really cool. You got to kind of watch your line. You need a ultra sensitive rod, because a lot of times when that bait's just suspended there, sitting there, those fish are sitting down there pre-spawn, kind of cold, that erratic action. And when you pause it like that and it just suspends perfectly, it's like a dead shad or a dead minnow, whatever it might be, and they just come up and take it, and your line jumps, and you just kind of rear back and have a nice sweeping hook set. So that's the rod and reel setup, real straightforward. Megabass Vision 110, again, it's I don't know a single guy that doesn't have them on tour. If you haven't used them yet, you need to try them. They really speak for themselves. I don't know what else to say about them, other than, man, I've got way too many. I gotta simplify a little bit here. I brought these out of the back of my truck. I carry, you know, this size tackle box in my boat at all times, all through the pre-spawn and then back into the fall. So if you haven't tried the Vision 110 jerkbait, the king of jerkbaits, check them out. Sportsmanswarehouse.com. Tackle Warehouse has them. You can find them just about anywhere that sells premium tackle. So the Megabass Vision 110. Give it a whirl.